sixth graders, let's get going on this art project. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we're going to divide it in half vertically and horizontally. You can use a T-square if you have one, or you can use a ruler. I'm going to give directions for a ruler since not many people might have a T-square. First thing you're going to do is you're going to firmly press the ruler to the edge of the paper so it's aligned with the edge. Now I'm going to make a mark halfway across the paper horizontally, anywhere on the paper, as long as it's at exactly 9. Okay, so that's where the long line is. Now I'm going to slide my T-square to a new location. You can slide it up or down, it doesn't matter. And then once again, I'm going to make a dot at the number 9. Because the paper is 8 inches in length, 9 is halfway. So now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to put it on one of my dots. And I'm going to slide my T-square or ruler until I hit that dot. Using a light pencil line, I'm going to connect the dots. So something that you should notice is that your two dots have a line going through it. If your line looks crooked like that, what happens is when you measure the 9, you were not accurate. So check your work. It should be exactly in the middle. If you were to fold the paper in half, which I don't want you to do, it would be right in the middle. Now let's do the same thing, but we're going to find the middle and make a vertical line. Okay, so now I'm going to put my T-square firmly on the edge of the paper, again in a new spot. This is a brand new spot. Now my paper is, let me do it this way so it's easier to tell. My paper is 12 inches long, so half of 12 is 6, so I'm going to put a dot at the number 6, and then I'm going to put a second dot at the number 6. Okay, so I have two dots exactly at the number 6, that's important. Now I'm going to take my pencil, put it on one of my dots, and slide in my ruler until I hit the dot, and make sure my ruler's going through both of those dots, and I'm going to make a light line. Because some of this is going to be erased, you'll notice that I'm making light lines. So now I have the paper divided into 4 exactly equal quadrants, 4 rectangles. Now let's keep going. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a mark 3 inches down from the top on that center line. So 1, 2, 3 inches down from the top, I'm going to put a dot. Now this dot's really important, so I'm making it big and bold. I'm going to erase that extra piece of line. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to make a dot 3 inches up from the bottom. This is a big bold dot because it's super important. And now I'm going to erase that dot. Now this is how long that center design is going to be. The center design is going to be 6 inches wide, so let's start making the measurements for that. I'm putting my ruler firmly against the edge of the paper. I'm going to measure 3 inches in on this side. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 inches exactly at the number 3. I'm putting a dot. Now I'm going to use my ruler to line up, touching those 2 dots, and I'm going to draw really lightly. Now this line doesn't have to touch the top and the bottom, and that's kind of important to know. Okay? So right now we have a center line that is 12 inches in length. Now we're going to make this line here a little bit shorter. Okay, so I'm going to erase my old dots because we don't need these anymore. Now this line is going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be 1 inch shorter on each side, or 2 inches shorter. So 4 inches up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches up from the bottom. Make a big bold dot. And then erase. 4 inches from the top. Make a dot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a dot. Now we have 2 parallel lines. I'm holding my paper horizontally, so my lines are horizontal, so 2 parallel horizontal lines. They are 3 inches apart from another, and we're going to put one more, so a third parallel vertical line, and this one is also going to be 3 inches from the edge. So I'm going to put my T-square anywhere on the paper, lining up with the edge, measure 1, 2, 3 inches, make a dot. 1, 2, 3, make a dot. And now I'm going to connect those dots with a straight line, and I'm drawing lightly because some of that's going to be erased. Okay. Now, I'm going to measure 4 inches down on this same outside line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, making a big bold dot, and 4 inches up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, big bold dot. I'm going to go ahead and erase any of those extra dots that might be around, because I don't want to get confused. And then the extra little piece of line below that dot is going to go, and this extra piece of line is going to go as well. Now we're simply going to connect these dots. Okay, so I'm going to connect from this dot to this dot in the center. So I'm going to put my pencil on the dot, slide my T-square to the pencil, and then I'm going to rotate until I see that dot, and then I'm going to draw. Because this line's a keeper, I'm drawing it super dark. See that? Now I'm going to put my pencil on the center line, slide my T-square to the pencil line, and then rotate, draw it. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to put my pencil right on the dot, slide it there, rotate, stop at the center. Okay. And then put my pencil on the center dot, and then rotate, stop at the dot. Okay. There we go. So now we have this super cool shape.